Hey everyone, um, I'm back at work finally, and I have some things that I want to say that it's not being said right now. While I was staying in Virginia, I was basically a victim of psychological operation that they were playing for torture and everything else to get as many Republicans out of the blue states. They were conducting experiments by um, having some sort of street theater of racist, right wing, and then when I exposed them, they were doing liberal aggressions on me. Now, I don't want to talk about the whole psychological operation that they were having on me while I was there having in my 6 months contract. What I want to talk about is how they take over red states, okay? I'm going to be very, very detailed about how they take over red states. They take over by academia and the local markets. When I mean local markets, I mean franchises. You see, they understand how the whole aspect of money flow operates within counties like Richmond, Harrisonburg, and popular universities because they have a high volume of populations and the new generations purchasing from their franchises so that the money is always going to them so that they can sponsor and operate their people on the red states to put them in positions of power and governments in local counties and states. It's called profit sharing. I notice I've been looking at that a lot. Profit sharing for franchises. You can sponsor a representative by donating gift cards and everything else, and it's out of the books. And you can always move money around untraceable. And there's a limit on the law that says of how much a representative can accept donations. So what they do is they accept gift cards because it's out of the books and there's no way to connect who's giving them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in gift card gifts by their communities, Richmond and small little blue states and counties within their operations. Now, these socialists who are using capitalist systems to benefit their takeover, it is what they're doing is they're affecting the freight and the brokers who connect with shippers and carriers. Shipper meaning a logistics that provide a carrier, meaning a CDL commercial truck drivers with the job and good rates. So what they're doing is they're affecting the shippers to affect the brokers. The brokers are the people who connect shippers with carriers. Carriers deliver the products to independent states and counties. Do you see how everything connects? It's a domino effect that these people are playing. And they're taking over the industry by lowering down the rates, making everything being sabotaged in a way where it's a soft coup against the population to submit to their control grid of money flow. And we are sponsoring their takeover by working on their uh, system of franchises and profit sharing. And you wouldn't know who is responsible for some of those franchises. It's off the book records. So that's how their strategies on how they take over counties and states and how it's affecting the whole country and the economy as a whole. Florida and everybody else is submitting to the system of control, and it's really, really disgusting. A lot of people in the red states, they have no idea what's going on in the background. Like, as if for me, I'm here at work, you know, I went on vacation to London. I was basically tortured over there in London by these Stasis who are using military tools. Okay, now let me connect this right here. They're using military location sharing tools, meaning that Bloomberg, who is funding all these counties and everything else, they have access because they have their highest stakeholders or some of these apps that you use on your smartphone that automatically has location sharing. Okay, pay attention to this information. Location sharing. What happened is that every time you arrive at their, blue states, they know exactly who you are and your information and your text, your photos, and everything else and what you do. So they can target you based on the information that they got about you by the things that you do in your smartphone. Okay, they have access to this information. They can harass, target, and I have seen their system myself. I've personally seen the system myself. What it looks like is it looks like a Google Maps, and it shows exactly where you are at all times, where you're walking, what you're saying, and who is surrounding you. They can send anybody, literally anybody. They can send a group of people. They can send anything whenever you are at those blue states. They know what your intentions are and they know how to psychologically torture you. So they know where you are at all times. They control a profit sharing networks with sponsors, uh, governors, and community organizers. They have that already. Academia has been taken over by these socialists, and they can operate in a way where they can always have their money on their small counties and high populated areas because they can control the you know the alcohol and everything else that like clubs and things like that that are controlled by these people because they know that people on the red states are some of them sponsor things like that or have franchises like that but they're not as successful as the blue states because the blue states have backing by socialists and communists in Wall Street, and they know how business operate, and they know how to use capitalism for their own gain. So whoever's watching this, I'm not sure how we can operate, but for us to win this war, we're gonna have to work together somehow. We're gonna have to connect shippers and brokers with all these red counties and have some sort of franchise and control the supply and demand of counties and things like that, and provide high rates for logistic shippers and things like that, so that everybody's gaining and making money off of this market that belongs to us and not a bunch of socialists and communists. The biggest mistakes for the red states is that not that many people understand how markets works. And a lot of people are very, very afraid of understanding how shippers, logistics, and carriers operate because, I don't know, they are the heart of this country. Billions and billions of dollars are made each day by carriers, shippers, and logistics. They control all the food distribution and everything else in this country. And it would be a shame to see the blue states and socialists and communists mobilizing and monopolizing the market where they are in full control of how people operate in the red states. And I'm seeing a pattern between Amazon, UPS, and FedEx operating for the federal government. of the Federal Reserve, majority of their investments and investors comes from socialists and communist sponsors of how these blue states operate. It's extremely interesting information that I've been gathering lately, and I believe the red states, man, they have to wake up to this illusion that the government is in control of everything. They're not in control of everything. Money speaks louder than what a representative does, and how people's lives are affected by their actions. So I was driving around inside the back of my truck for a while. I'm no longer doing that because I'm inside a carrier. I distribute food for logistics and shippers and things like that all around the countries, and I connect brokers with everything else. I'm the guy who runs the show for most of you people who likes to go to Walmart and buy stuff easily. You know, a lot of everything that you touch every day comes from people like me back here who move shit around. And the name of the game is calling people and gathering information, and I'm pretty good at gathering information regarding broker shippers and loads and things like that, and networking and socially engineering a load for myself and gathering the right information. So I just want to say that there's strategies out there. I took time from my job. I was operating in DC, Washington, DC. Yes, I was operating specialized loads for a very um, trustful company, the Shadow People. Just kidding. So, while I was staying in Harrisonburg, I gathered all this information just on the weekends. That's how easy these people are. That's how easy it is to collect information from these people if you know how to. And I broke the Ukraine thing, and I broke the takeover in Virginia before it happened. And you guys better wake up because they are pushing. They are pushing. They are afraid of losing control. Now, all it takes is like 3 or 4 churches to get together, open up a franchise, and start hiring your own people, and then sponsoring your representative in your counties. Your representative can get access to funds, federal funds, state funds, and everything else to mobilize and control your counties and parts of fraction of your states. It's very, very easy. These people are doing it so easily that you're not seeing how they operate. Remember that we are at civil war right now. You have to understand that information is key to your knowledge, to your temple. So since we are at war, this financial war against the population, you have to prepare for it. This is a modern warfare. In the modern warfare, you have to operate financially. All your money, your dollars, is equivalent to bullets flying everywhere. Your money is a weapon, and your weapon can be extremely effective if you can operate a trust account and arbitrary of laws that connects with your LLC and corporations. And there's a lot of things in the law that allows you to stay out of the courthouses because the court is having a hard time representing a corporation of America because America is a corporation. But I don't want to get too deep into that. But the information is out there. You just got to connect everything. I just wish I had a group of people who could fight alongside in this operation of putting America back together, basically. You just gotta slap the duct tape back together before it starts peeling off and shit hits the fan and bullets start flying everywhere and people get hurt by a bunch of communist socialists that doesn't understand, that their actions can affect people's lives. So I seriously hope people in Virginia can wake up because you have everything in your hands. You have the farmers, you got the carriers, you got the shippers, and you got the logistics. Just connect everything and control the franchise. Control the franchise. Hey, did you know that a carrier can delay a load for a whole week and the franchise can shut down? Hey, there you go. Now you can purchase that franchise. You see how sabotaging them can be so easily accomplished. Easily accomplished. So that's all I gotta say. Because there's a massive shortage of truck drivers in America. And those truck drivers can affect their franchises.